Depths of my soul, feeling the loss of control in the spirit, so colorful. Easy feeling, then let's go to a place where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Rise, rise, keep on rising, rise, rise,
Take me home to the banks of the riverside. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best. Yes, it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the riverside.
Good evening, YouTube. This is the Toon Review YouTube channel, and this is Newcastle United versus Norwich City match preview. And it feels a bit weird doing a match preview on a Sunday night. Games are coming fast in the Premier League this week.
Certainly does.
Yeah, it's certainly non-stop on this channel this week, no doubt. Good evening, Mr. Harrison. How are you?
I'm very well, Paul. How are you?
I'm all right. Recovered from yesterday's brilliant performance.
Yeah, it was like the curate egg. It was good in parts, in very small parts.
Very small parts, yeah.
Wasn't
I
brilliant,
watched
so.
Mr. Sinclair's player ratings, and I have to say some player ratings are very different to the ones we did. But
Yeah, it's
everyone's opinion, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's all about opinions, mate. Yeah, it's how people say it. I mean, I was watching Stephen Hull earlier on, and people were saying that, some were saying they thought Kraft had an outstanding game, and other people said he was rubbish and should never play again. And so, yeah, it's about opinions.
I think the stigma of Emil Kraft isn't going to go anywhere. I didn't think he did anything wrong yesterday, to be honest.
But a canny game yesterday, I thought.
Yeah, compared to the other one, he was alongside, so the captain. Luke says, good luck with the show tonight, Paul. Wi-Fi is crashing everywhere.
Okay. Yeah,
well, luckily not here, but all that's happening here is snow in Durham, and lots of it.
Yeah, it's been raining here, so what snow we had's gone.
Yeah. Good evening, Thomas. Good evening,
Thomas.
Another Thomas. What's the story, Horsebox? Says Dublin Magpie. You just get your hand in your pocket ready for them burgers on Tuesday night, matey. Me and Harrison are looking forward to them.
Absolutely.
Damn right we are. Good evening, Truls. Hope you're well.
Hi, Truls.
It's his first sign of madness talking to yourself, Thomas. Don't know if chatting counts. It probably does. Stuart, good evening. Oi, finished graft now, chilling with a few ciders for a bit Toon banter.
Sounds like good.
Thomas says, I solemnly swear, that we're not one of the same. Yeah, exactly. Stuart, you've come to the right place, mate. Cheers, I know. Pedro says, hope it's Woodpecker you're drinking, Stuart. Louis says, a must-win game no matter what. We expect 3 points on Tuesday and nothing else. I mean, Dave, this game on Tuesday, I mean, it's, you'd never look at a Newcastle United against Norwich City as a big game. It's never been historically like that. But this is huge.
You're right, and I think in the past we've always looked at Norwich as being a team that we would expect. It's a bit rude on Norwich, but we'd expect to win easily.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, everything being the way it is at the minute, it's not. It is an absolute massive game. I mean, I'm not a great lover of the it's a 6-pointer thing, but it absolutely is. It's a 6-pointer. There's no ifs or buts about it. We have to win, and I think that's part of the worry I've got, because the team, the coaches, everybody knows that it's a must-win game, and that in itself brings added, potentially unnecessary pressure to the team and the coach and staff, which what we do without. We should go in relaxed, but it's got to be a win.
Do you think that given the pressure that's on the team come Tuesday night, is gonna, is it gonna sort of get to the players, or do you think they'll thrive on it? Because this is, no matter where you look at it, it's a massive, massive game for Newcastle. Because if we don't win this, Dave, if we do not get 6 points out the next 2 games, I really think we're relegated, no matter what happens in January.
Yeah, I agree, Paul. And with the point of will it get to the players, it shouldn't do. As I've said before, everybody knows I've competed in archery for, a good number of years. I don't know, getting too old, too crotchety, never mind. But it always used to. One time when I went to a tournament and I looked at the line and thought, oh my God, they're all here. And I got an absolute rocket off my coach, Helen, God rest her. And she said, no, you've got to turn that round and put it to your advantage. Don't worry, they will be as panicked, because I was never the best, but I mean, I won quite a few tournaments, and they would say, they'll be looking at you and think, oh God, Harrison's here. And that's what I did. From that day, I had a good long sit down and chat with her. And that's what I did. I went and thought, well, they're here, but, they'd be more worried about me than I about them. Wasn't quite the case. And that's what Eddie Howe and the coaching team have got to instill to them and say, look, they will come in here, tails up, expecting to do well. We've got to turn to just say, nah, we're not going to have it. We're going to beat them. And that's what we've got to do.
I mean, for me, David, it'll be interesting because, the fans, again, before the game, the atmosphere will be 110% again, like it always is. Eddie Howe will get a fantastic welcome to Newcastle United.
You will. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Despite the idiots on Twitter yesterday who were wanting them out. I mean, I can't understand that, but never mind. And then the players have to thrive on that and give the fans something back, don't they? Because we can't do it all. The players have to give the fans something back. And it's no point going out for the first 5-10 minutes and maybe scoring a goal and then just sort of going back to how we did against Arsenal, because I personally don't think that'll happen, because I don't think Eddie Howe will let it happen for a start. But we'll see. Peter says here, Norwich will be up for this game. No matter what task on Tuesday, we need to play our socks off. Keith says 6 points or bust. Geordie Toon for Life says, good evening, Paul and Dave. Hope you're both keeping well. And to you, my
thanks.
man. Yeah. Evening, Paul and Mr. Harrison says, Reese. Julie, howdy, peeps. Pre-quiz check-in. Oh, she's quizzing again. Bloody hell.
I should look like Dave. Love that quizzes, don't
I need to get ourselves on the bloody chase. Good evening, Paul and Mr. Harrison and everyone else. From Mike.
Hi, Mike. How you doing, mate?
Pedro says, good evening, Paul and Mr. Harrison. Hope everyone is well. Keep up the good work. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
James says, we were very tired towards the end of the Arsenal match. I think they were doing heavy training the day before. Listen,
possibly.
I think we ran out of steam simply because we ball chased again. And that happens all the time. This happened under Steve Bruce. We know it did, that we were chasing the ball and we wore ourselves out. You absolutely exhaust yourself when you're chasing the ball for most of a football match. And, you look at the possession stats yesterday, especially first half, we were chasing the ball, and that's what we cannot do on Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was one point on the match on Saturday when it was pointed out by BT that it was the last 10 minutes or something that they looked at. It was 97% to Arsenal and 3 to us, which means we were just literally running around trying to get the ball. The joke, can we have a ball, please? They've got the other one. And you're absolutely right. However, we were, probably 80 minutes, we were starting to really tire. But let's face it, under Bruce, that was about 55, 60 minutes. So we've added 10, 15, 20 minutes to how well we can play. And every week we play, we're going to get fitter and better. As John Joe Shelby said, he was getting in bed for 8 o'clock because he was that tired. And that's fine. You've got
it's
to.
not a bad thing. It's certainly not a bad thing.
No, once you get fit, you'll be able to stay up later because the whole squad's unfit at the moment.
Exactly.
And how we'll get them right, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Dark by Design says, who would have thought Shelby and Joe Linton are our best players? Get rid of the rest. John gave Joe Linton a 4 on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Well, I missed the end of the show.
I don't know what game he was bloody watching, but never mind.
No,
so the Magpie says, opinions are like arseholes. We all have them. Doesn't make me want to touch them. That's fair enough.
Point, Dave.
Keith said, did you see his decision making? Keith, are you one of these who wants Howe out already? If so, please explain why.
No.
I'd love to know your theory on that. Stuart says Kraft got done and lost his man for the first goal. No, Kraft was done by a bit of skill from Saka. It was Lascelles who then stood there.
Waving
If
his
you
hands
look,
about.
yeah, there's a still shot on Twitter of Saka having beat Kraft. He's almost running in, and already Lascelles is standing still with his hand in the air for offside. Why isn't he going to close Saka down? That's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just the way it is. Chippers, good evening.
Chippers.
Paul, what's your thoughts about Tuesday? You reckon we will win? Well, we'll give our predictions at the end, mate.
Come to that at the end.
We will come to that. Joshua says, hi, I'm back. Haven't been on for a while. Joshua, nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Pedro says you're going to need them burgers to keep you warm. Yeah, I think it's going to be a cold one on Tuesday.
Yeah, looking that way.
Graham says you as a duo are the best format yet. Oh, well, thank you very much, Graham.
That's very
lovely
kind.
to say. I just felt, I had to bring my granddad on at some point. You know what I mean?
Hey, very good. Talking about granddads.
He's not, by the way. He's not. He's a very good friend.
Talking about granddads, just to dive in before we go, I want to give a shout out to the two lads, two grandkids, Xander and Joel, who are going to watch the first few movies before they go to bed for school. So,
all right.
Hi, lads. You all right? Yeah, I think it's dead cool that Granddad's on YouTube.
Yeah, he's famous. Your granddad's famous.
He's not. No, he's not.
He is. He's famous. People bow to him outside the football ground.
Oh, man.
People love your granddad like no one else. He is a magical man.
Oh,
so,
thank you, Paul.
Good
That's
evening,
really kind.
guys. Thanks for watching the early part of the show. Yano seems to says there's too many fans seem to have an agenda against certain players. Surely everyone deserves our support. Yeah, as long as they put the effort in.
Yeah, clean sheet, Yano. You're absolutely right.
Dublin Magpies just hope the fucking plane can land tomorrow. I think you'll be all right.
Should be all right tomorrow.
Liam says we need to win the next to get ready for Christmas. Yeah,
I'll see.
The next two games are massive, and we do need to win them. Otherwise, I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think the gap is going to be too much. Truls says, sad to say I'm not that confident, to be honest. We'll have to see which way it goes. Oh, come on, Truls. Let's look for positivity. Good evening, Kieran. Hope you're well, buddy. Michael, what can I say?
Wow.
Thank you so much again, mate, for the super chat. You are a legend. And you're going to the match on Tuesday night, so I'm really looking forward to seeing you there.
Oh, we got to get again.
Yeah, we'll have a good laugh before the match and a little bit afterwards as well. So great to see you. So nice to see you're on the mend and you're coming to the match. So
good
thank
news.
you again for the super chat, mate. You're an absolute diamond on this channel. You know that.
See you Tuesday, Michael.
NUFC for life. I hope Howe had them in today working their asses off. I'm not sure actually. I don't think there will have been. I think it'll have been a bit much, to be honest. Like we say, they look very tired, and I don't think Eddie Howe's will want to sort of overdo it because he knows some of our players are quite injury prone as well, and that might be a problem going into the Norwich game.
It depends when they'll have to come back. I mean, if they came back after the game, because obviously it was early afternoon when it finished, if they flew back or whatever, he might have had them in for a bit of a late session or a bit of a chat. But it's certainly. But I would have thought there certainly should have been a full training session that should come tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure they'll watch the video of yesterday for a start. I'm sure it won't. Before the Norwich game, they'll watch that video.
Yeah.
Only team in the entire league without a win. These players need to go. Even ASM. We'll come on to ASM in a minute because I've had my thoughts about him. Chipper says, "Well, Michael, unreal certainly is." Pedro says, "Hopefully, with Eddie Howe back on the training field, the players will get a rocket up the backside." There is absolutely no doubt about that. Absolutely, he'll have a lot to say.
Good answer.
Yeah, Liam says we need to win the next two and prepare for Christmas. Yeah, I've seen that one. I don't know why they pop up twice. Toon says we need to win the next two games. If not, we're gone. No one will sign in January as we could be too far adrift. It's got to be a worry, Dave, hasn't it? That if we don't get 6 points this week, then, like I say, looking into December's fixtures, we've got all the big boys to play. And January window will open. Who will want to come into a team that's bottom of the league?
And you're absolutely right. I mean, I said to you yesterday, whenever it was, that when Keegan came in, we made a couple of early signings, the likes of Brian Klein, which, he was a bit of a journeyman, did a fantastic job. He was one of the reasons we stayed up. And of course, we've got some midfield and strikers in. But you're absolutely right. if we are 9, 12, God forbid, more points adrift, it doesn't matter who you go to, who you say will give you X amount of money. They're going to think, you know what, I don't know. So we may be looking at the older players who are coming towards the end of the career, who you could argue they're journeymen, are just looking for one last payday. But if they come in and are prepared to work hard to keep us up, well, then we could bring better players in, because it's a fresh new league next year. We'll still be in it, always positive, and then we can start to get the players. And it might be, if some of the players were being linked with the likes of Tarkowski and Cody, etc., if they haven't had a good second half of the season at their particular clubs, they might be more inclined to say, yeah, I'll come to you. And of course, one of the things today, that absolutely superstar, one of the amazing ex-players who's such a wonderful pundit, Gabby.
We're coming on to him, Dave. Don't worry. We're coming on to him, because I've got a bit to say about that prick.
Really?
Anyway, yeah. Asif says, speaking to a Norwich fan, he was really nervous. I'm confident that we will get 3 points. We will be at full throttle. That's the spirit, Asif. That's the spirit, my man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe our home games will save us this season, says Tiger. The Norwich and Burnley games are the key for getting out of relegation. I mean, if we do get the 6 points, it puts us right back in the mix again. That's the thing. That's why we need the 6 points.
Yeah.
If we don't win the next 2 games, then we must accept that the season is lost. We need to rebuild completely and surge back stronger. Stadium is shite has gone for this team: Dubravka, Manquillo, Shah, Fernandez, Lewis, Willock, Hayden, Shelvey, Fraser, Miggy, Joe, Wilson. So out of the 3, he'd sort of go Fraser, Miggy, or Joe. Interesting. I mean, we'll see what our team lineups possibly will be a bit later. Fernandez hopefully takes and cements his place. I'm sorry, but I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play. There is stuff going on in the background with him.
Yeah, he should be straight in, but I agree, Paul. I think there's something not right. Nobody seems to know what it is, but there's definitely a rabbit off there somewhere. Yeah, which is sad, because he's a good player.
Yeah. Paul, good evening. Cheers for the crack. Loving it in California. Wow. It'd certainly be nicer weather than over here, I would imagine.
Warmer.
Yes. Kieran says we need Fernandez and Lewis back in the team. Good evening, Carlos. John says we need 11 players in is any English coaches any use? James says, I hope to see Fernandez back in Tuesday night. I think it's a long wish, James. Luke says, no Matt Ritchie and no Jamal Lascelles for the Norwich game, over the moon. That's a bonus, Dave, isn't it? I mean, certainly Lascelles. I mean, it gives Eddie Howe a decision to make now whether to change the formation, which I personally think he's going to. I really do think he'll go back to 4 at the back. Now it's who he puts in at left back is my question, because obviously Jamal Lewis has seen very, very little football. So would that be a risk? Because we know, as much as I hate to say this, if he does go with Shah and Fernandez, Kieran Clark could maybe be our left back on Tuesday night, because he's played full back before.
Yeah, he has.
And I just have a feeling that due to the lack of football that Jamal Lewis has played, he's not going to throw him into an absolutely massive game like the Norwich one.
Yeah, I mean, it's why Eddie gets the big bucks, and he gets to make these decisions. I mean, we can pontificate all night and come up with our team, but of course it's what Howe sees as being the best way forward. But you're absolutely right. Bringing Lewis in would and Fernandez would seem the obvious choice. We're all pretty confident there's something amiss with Fernandez.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. Lewis, whilst he's a good player, is he ready? He's been out. He certainly won't be match fit. He won't be match sharp. So, I don't know.
Well, he played for Ireland, didn't he? I mean, he played a full game. But
it's true.
I just think
not quite the same, though. I don't think.
The level of this game that we're going to be playing on Tuesday,
it's going to be a bit more rough and tumble, isn't it?
It's going to be one of those games where Norwich are coming in, and let's say it, Norwich aren't in bad form. They've got 7 points from 3 games.
Yeah,
they beat Brentford. They had a wonderful victory against, I think, with Southampton. They beat. And they held Wolves 0-0 yesterday. Now, Wolves are flying. Yeah. They've been on tremendous form lately, moving up the table. So, this isn't a team that's coming up devoid of confidence.
No. What has beat me? And I don't understand what that means. Is that one of them win things that some people talk about?
Well, yeah, I'm forgetting what it's like.
Yeah.
Apparently, you get 3 points for it.
All right. Oh.
Yeah.
Who knew? Who knew?
Who knew? I thought we'd just get 0 points or 1 point. I didn't realize it was 3 points.
3. Well, there you go. You learn something every day, mate.
Yeah. Never mind. Shanio says, and I agree, Lascelles needs to be stripped of the captaincy and chucked in the river. Maybe he's not chucked in the river, but I agree. He isn't captain at all.
Other players who have been captain have been terrible. They've been stripped of the captaincy, and all of a sudden they start to play really well because that pressure is off them. But yeah, I agree. Not the river bit, but yeah, certainly stripped of the captaincy.
Pedro goes for Dubravka, Manquillo, Federico, Shah, Lewis, Fraser, Shelby, Murphy, Joe Linton, and Wilson. So again, no Miggy involved in that.
No, that's to be fair. That's about my team for later on. But there you go.
Yeah, well, there you go. Geordie Toon for life. It's like watching the two Ronnies. I will chuck you off this channel. Any more like that? Peter, good evening, matey. The hate for us. Thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. As usual, thank you for your kindness, mate. I really appreciate it. Peter says the hate from other fans to Amanda is shocking. Some of the things I was reading yesterday on some football pages, jealousy springs to mind. That's all it is.
Oh, it's absolute.
You can guarantee
jealousy.
if Amanda was running their club, it wouldn't be like that at all. They'd love it just as much as we do.
It would be that Keegan moment, Paul. Love it. I just love it.
I just love it. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Julie says, Mr. and Mrs. Get lost and go and do your quiz, Julie. Do you think Bruce scuttled the ship before he left enough to get us dropped from the Premier League? Let's not talk about him. Mike, good evening. Eddie Howe and his staff have only been there 5 minutes, and with the outfit he's got available to him, he's made an immediate difference. Hopefully, baby steps combined with some quality signings. I don't understand what people expected in 2 bloody games. And let's not forget, he was ill all week with COVID last week and wasn't at the training ground. Now, we said this on the review last night. That it doesn't matter whether you send him videos or stuff. That's not the same as being there.
It's not the same.
So, let's give the guy a bloody chance. We've seen improvements already. Yeah. It's not going to change overnight. We've had 14 years of neglect, 2 years of absolute bollocks under Steve Bruce. It's not going to change in a couple of football matches.
No, yeah, absolutely. And that's what we said the other night, Paul, that you look at 14 years, if you've just said, and the 2 years from SB. The new owners have been in 7-8 weeks, not years. And Eddie Howe's been here, 4 weeks at the more? I can't remember. It all blurs, but you're right. He hasn't actually had a proper game yet, So, and he's been ill. And you're right. It doesn't matter how much you look at videos. It's that shouting, "Do this! Why are you doing that?" type of thing. That can't happen because he gets it and then he goes back and says, "You need to do this, this, and this." Then it goes back the next day. It doesn't work. It needs to be that immediate. Why are you doing that? This is what you should be doing. Do this. Shouting at the players, like what the video we saw when he was showing what to do. That's what needs to be done. Next couple of days he'll do that. I just hope he has enough time with them to get a bounce from Saturday to tomorrow, and then obviously the game coming on Saturday. He'll have a few more days. And as I said earlier, the more time he gets with those players, the less worse there will be. Exactly. We've been left with an awful squad, and we've just got to do the best we can until the window opens in January.
Without a doubt. Dark by Design says, Director of Football, what's happening? Look, we don't know. There is something going on in the background. I have no doubt about that, but let them just get on with it. Interviews take place, and then when they're ready to announce, of course, they will. Snipe says, do you think if we get relegated, we'll get straight back up? I do, because they'll spend money to get back up. They'll make sure that we are one of the best sides in the Championship, undoubtedly. So I don't have any worry about that. It's just a kind of year taken to... a year off the process that we really don't want to go through. Yeah,
it's a year wasted, isn't it, Paul?
It is, yeah. Thomas says, Paul, can you calculate how much money Michael has donated? Look, it's not about how much he's donated, Thomas, okay? And that's not the case for Michael. Like everybody, I'm friends with Michael. I love the guy to death. He's a great bloke. And he's had a lot of problems with his mental health, which you won't mind me saying, as we all have. But Michael was very appreciative of the channel over lockdown, and some of the shows he watched, which gave him that kind of release from feeling like he did. So, at the end of the day, Michael donates whatever he wants.
What he wants,
and
as anybody can, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If he wants to donate that kind of money, that's his prerogative. I'm not going to tell him yes or no because it's his decision. And he's kind enough to donate to the channel on a regular basis with some fantastic amounts, I have to say.
Yeah.
But he knows where that money goes. It doesn't go in my pocket. It goes to, the account that I have for the channel. So to replace cameras, green screens, whatever it is to make the channel better, software, etc.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
and he's such a lovely guy on top of it, Paul.
he is. You've met him. You've met him. So
he's smashing.
at the end of the day, anyone that wants to donate to the channel, however much, I'm appreciative of, whether it be what Michael donates or whether it be a £2 super chat. I am blown away by people's generosity to donate to the channel. So I'm not going to call Michael out and say, "Oh, you've donated this much or that much," because he wouldn't want me to. This is Michael's way of saying thank you. And if he wants to do that, and if he can afford to do that, then that is his prerogative. No one else can tell him otherwise. So I'm obviously blown away every time he does, and he knows. But like I say, he's a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, and I class him as one of my good friends, and he's a lovely man. And, if he wants to keep donating the channel, that's his prerogative, Thomas, all right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Musical Magpie says, why hasn't Howe played Fraser with Wilson in the attack like he did at Bournemouth? Well, we're only 2 games in, mate. I think eventually he might do that. Obviously he's going to look at the different options he has. But what Eddie Howe will do is he will look at each opposition that we play, and he'll play a team that he thinks is going to do a job against that opposition. Not like our previous manager who said, well, if you played well last week, we'll put you in this week, without even studying the opposition. Yeah. Eddie Howe will make changes, I'm sure he will, to accommodate the opposition that we're playing. And at the end of the day, he's going to be the main man. That's why he's paid the big bucks. Like you said, Dave, as manager, he's got to make those decisions.
Absolutely.
Craig says, Hayden, Shelby, Willock in a midfield 3 against Norwich. Possibly, yes. I mean,
I'd go with that.
Hayden could hold back, and Shelby and Willock can do the business up front. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. As he says, we are all set to make history and survive this season.
That's very positive.
I love his positivity tonight. I'm loving this tonight. Darren says we need to get 6 points from our next 2 home games and hope we can pick up some points from the top 6 teams during Christmas. We might be able to sign some players in January to give us a chance. I mean, you know what? When you look at the fixtures, I mean, obviously, the 2 home ones, very, very important. Then we go to Leicester and Liverpool. Now, I'm going to both those games. I'm really looking forward to going to both those games. The Leicester one, Leicester are very hit and miss. I mean, look at us. We went down there and blew them away last season. So what's not to say we can't do that if we give it a go. So there's a lot in these games over December. We play Everton at the back end of December, and Everton are absolutely flapping. I mean,
awful today.
You know what?
Today, was it?
Yeah, Rafa is in serious trouble there. Because the fans have already turned. The ones that hadn't turned since they signed.
Yeah, and I don't think the players are necessarily playing for him as well, which is really sad because we know, what a. Sorry, Paul.
I'm not even giving that airtime.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great manager, but it's just not working from there, which is a shame.
Yeah. Will Joe Linton get a start? I'm sure he will. I'm sure they're that impressed with him. Shanio says if ASM leaves, we're screwed. Only play with a bit of talent. Graft only gets you so far. The thing is, you're right, but on ASM, he needs to turn up in the big games. He needs to turn up in the big games. If you look since he signed, he hasn't turned up in the big games. And this is a massive game. It's not against Premiership or Champions League winners. It's against Norwich. No disrespect to them, but that's what I mean. But the game itself is huge. It is massive to our season, and it is massive to us staying in the Premier League. And if we don't get anything out of this game, then we are looking backwards again. Norwich are on good form. They've got a good manager in Dean Smith who seems to have really generated some kind of positivity in there. And they'll be fancying the chances, Dave. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, as I said earlier, you look in the past, you play Norwich, whether it be Championship or Premiership, there you go. That's a relatively easy. Sorry, I'm just like that.
For God's sake, get a hold of yourself.
I thought these would start to come, but yeah, and they're not brilliant, but they're certainly, they're playing better, and Dean Smith has certainly got them fired up, but
Yeah.
that can only last so long, and I think we'll be all right. But I mean, we're daft enough to go to Liverpool and beat them, we'll probably
Well,
not.
I mean, it's crazy enough. Newcastle have done that in the past.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
Why is Fernandez not getting game time? Look, I've heard stories about behind the scenes, especially with Jones. I think something's gone on between them, which is, I think it's been quite serious, to be honest. But obviously, the
people
club
were saying he was the mole and all the rest of it. I mean, I don't know.
He was the mole, or something went on with his wife. There's all sorts of rumours going on.
And unless the club come out and say this is what happened, we'll never know.
We'll never know. So we may as well just, if he's not in the squad, he's not in the squad. Simple as that.
Yeah, there's no point in us speculating.
Definitely not. Stuart says there is only one team in the Premier League history that have survived that haven't won in the first 13 games. I can't remember who it was, though. I'm not sure who it was. Was it not Fulham?
No, I don't think so. It was on Twitter earlier on, and for the life of me, I can't remember who it was.
I'm not really bothered because Newcastle need to be the second team to do it. Stuart, if I'm honest, we need to really pick up fast. All this £6.10 stuff is really taking its toll on Paul. Listen, mate, I will shave your beard off on Tuesday night at that burger van if I need to. Just be careful. We need to play a 4-4. I think he means 4-4-2, in my opinion, and get rid of Willock for Hayden. I think Hayden certainly needs a rocket up his backside at the minute. Cesare, good evening, my friend. Almost thought I was on the wrong channel when I saw such a regal co-host. Thought I was watching a member of royalty giving elocution lessons to the working class. Great show, Paul and Mr. Harrison.
Thank you, mate.
Honestly, dear God. Mike says if we can't attract any players to sign in January because we have too far adrift, then it's going to be loans. And is there any quality youngsters in the Championship we can go after? I'm sure there is, and I'm sure they've got that in the back of their minds as well. But again, we have to see and assess where we are come January the 1st.
Yeah. They'll be working away in the background. We know that. And I think, as you said earlier, if we can get a director of football in, whether it be Eliminardi or whoever, that's going to help as well. But that needs to happen, PDQ. That's going to happen soon. Otherwise, it drags on. And hi, Brian. It just drags on.
If we play like we did against Brentford with Dubs in goal, we'll be good. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we'll win the game if we play that well. Also, Paul, can you do a rant either now or at some point on Gabby from Talk Sport? Right.
Sit back, everybody, and enjoy.
I'm just going to have a drink.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Right. Gabby Agbonlahor, right? For one, the man is not a legend footballer. He is just an average footballer from Aston Villa who didn't hit it big style, who was just an average footballer. He should not be a pundit on TalkSport because he has not a clue what he's talking about. You look at him and you listen to him and you think, that man has not got a clue what he is talking about. Now, it's okay to talk about football teams, right? But when you're talking about an area like Newcastle or the Northeast in general, and I mean Sunderland and everywhere else involved in that, the people that live up here, right? You are a cretin of life. You do not know what it's like to live in this wonderful place that we call the Northeast, with its fantastic nightlife. I sound like Jeff Selling here, but I'm going to. Fantastic nightlife, brilliant coastal routes, wonderful beaches. And I'll tell you something now, Gabby Agbonlahor. The people in the Northeast are amazing people. The people are so friendly. You know, you can go to London and nobody will speak to you for a fortnight. You come up here and everybody speaks to you, no matter where you're from, race, colour or creed, they love you. Because we are fantastic people up here. And Newcastle, the Northeast in general, is a wonderful, wonderful place to live. Yes, the South get the better weather. Boo-hoo. I don't care. Because somebody could offer me £1 million to go and live in somewhere like, I don't know, London, have a fancy one-bedroom apartment where your kitchen's like a bedroom.
No thanks.
No thanks. I love the Northeast. I love the people in the Northeast. And we all love the Northeast. So you can stick your Brentford thing up your arse as far as I'm concerned. Because if somebody offered me 40 grand to play for Newcastle, I'd play for free, sunshine. Yes. Right? And somebody offered me 50 quid, £50,000 to go to Brentford, I'd say no, because I'd play for Newcastle for free. because I love the Northeast. You have no right to sit there on a radio station and have a go at a city and an area which has been constantly forgotten about by governments, constantly forgotten about by people down south. This is a wonderful place to live with wonderful people who have experienced very hard times, especially during COVID. But you know what, Gabby? We battle on. We battle on and we battle through. And you ask any of our former players, legends of the club, what it was like living in Newcastle, and they will tell you. Les Ferdinand, Warren Barton, Robert Lee, Shaka Hislop, Andy Cole. You could name lists of players, Shea Given, who've all come to the Northeast and absolutely loved it. And a lot of them, by the way, still live here. Yeah. So if it's that much of a dump, Agbon Lahore, why are they still living in the area? You are a cretin and don't deserve airtime. Sunshine. Rant over.
Well said, anyway. Paul. Rob Lee posted as well today. He said that
Barton did as well, to be honest.
Barton, yeah. 10 years up here, and he's loved the place, lovely people and everything, and that's right, you know. I think the sad thing, that is absolutely. I think the sad thing for me is the host of the show, and I can't remember
Lindsay
her name.
Hipgrave. She's from Newcastle and a Newcastle fan.
Absolutely.
And didn't do anything.
No, but I think she was just trying to hold her temper because I think she was going to, you know,
she did look like she was pissed off, to be honest.
Yeah,
but then she just went on to talk about loan deals.
Yeah, she's got to, you know, do a job as if you like on the show. That's what she's paid to do. But I would love to be a fly in the wall when the podcast finished to see just what she said to women, because you're absolutely right. It's just it's abhorrent. It really is. And somebody said on Twitter, it's almost akin to racism. Well, that was maybe a bit too far, but I mean, I get the point. It really is, you know, and it's not just him; it's others are doing the same thing. So,
well, TalkSport need to come out and issue an apology. They simply have to, in my opinion, because they are going to continue to have him on shows. When he said that about the city, not a football club, remember, it was talking about the city,
the city, the area, you
know, the area. Nobody wants. His exact comments were, nobody wants to live in Newcastle.
Yeah,
or whatever Brummie accent it was. That wasn't a Brummie accent.
If he'd said nobody wants to play for Newcastle, you'd think, yeah, okay, that's your opinion. I'm going to respect it, but I don't agree with it. But you're right. He just said Newcastle, therefore downing the entire area. Unacceptable. Awful.
You don't sit on a radio station, a sporting radio station, and say shit like that. I know it's clickbait. I know, you know, TalkSport have an agenda where they need to clickbait to get the calls coming in on the mega expensive phone lines to keep people in a job like Agbon Lahore. But they need to issue an apology. The next time he is on any show, he has to come out and apologise to not just Newcastle United fans, but everybody, the city of Newcastle, people that live there.
The region.
He needs to apologise. And if they don't, then I think everybody should just overcrowd them with complaints. Because it's sickening to come out with a comment like that.
Yeah, 52,000 complaints would be quite good.
Yeah. But like I say, it's not just a football club, Dave. It's the people that live in the city.
Yeah, it's you and me. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Anyway, Cho says, we hope we get Fernandez in, but I'm afraid he will put Clark back. I think he will.
Yeah.
I read Paul and Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Snipe says, NUFC fan since birth. Live the optimism from the fantasy considering the situation. Yeah. Kieran says, I hope he puts Fernandez back in and Lewis and they play amazing. Andy says, match ticket bought, hotel and train booked. Looking forward to Tuesday, my first home game in 10 years. That's fantastic, Andy. Do you want to come and see us? We normally stand by the end of the club shop, mate, just before the match. If you want to come and say hello, it'd be great to put a face to the name.
Yeah.
Good evening, Saul.
Sure.
Good evening, Stephen.
That's the lads, Dad.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right. It sounds like one of the kids is saying hi there, isn't it?
Yeah,
hi,
that's lovely.
Darren says, fact, we won more games last season when Lascelles didn't play.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was Derby County, says Yano, who did the great escape.
Oh, right, okay.
Suspended players give Eddie a chance to try something someone else out as captain. Joe Linton. I have a feeling it'll be Shelvey.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll change anything drastically. Shelvey's vice captain, so it'll be Shelvey captain on Tuesday.
Yeah,
people who want Howe out are either trolls or haven't had a clue about football. Everyone has an opinion, but back it up with reasons and facts. Exactly. It has to be backed up with reasons, and there just isn't any. NUFC fans, yep, we've seen that one pop up
Yeah.
twice. We need to control the midfield. That's the only way our defence will get some respite, not by throwing bodies in defence. Yeah. Stuart says Jamal might be up against playing his old team. He might be up for it. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, it is.
But then again, we didn't see that with Willock on Saturday, Dave.
No. I mean, as we said in the reaction show yesterday, you would have thought he would have bushed a gut and turned around at the end of the game to Arteta and go, "Up yours, fella. That's how good I am." But he didn't take his chance. And as we said yesterday, there's something amiss. Don't know what it is. He's not enjoying his football. Definitely a player in there. I'm convinced in my own mind that Howe and the team will get a good player out of him. But at the minute, it's just not happening. Yep. It really isn't. It's a shame because he seems like a lovely lad as well.
Well, it's funny how a few years back defences wasn't a problem for us as we had some of the best playing in the league. And now they act like they haven't played football before. So frustrating to watch. Kieran says maybe Wilson made his captain. No. And here's why. I have Callum Wilson is I don't think should be captain simply because I don't think he can lead as a captain that maybe I'm always for maybe a midfielder being captain because they're in the middle of the park. They can see both ends. Callum Wilson loses his temper very quickly. I don't know whether anybody else has noticed that, but he gets very frustrated and very angry very quickly. I think we should leave Callum Wilson well alone for the captaincy and let him concentrate on scoring goals rather than trying to tell defenders and midfielders where they should be. Callum Wilson just needs to stick to his own game. We don't really have a leader in that first 11 at the minute, if I'm honest, because, we said Richie as well, but I think Richie's very similar. He gets very angry a lot of the times, and he could say something that offsets the one of his teammates or whatever it may be. You need a leader on that pitch, and I'm going to vouch for him again, but Conor Cody, you look at his conduct on the pitch for Wolves. He's always shouting at players, putting an arm around them or bollocking them if they need it, but he's always vocal, and that is the captain. We have a captain who just doesn't shout. He's all over the place. He can't even lead by example for one. So, we have to be careful when it comes to a captain, but I'm sure that, in the coming transfer windows, maybe not in January, but maybe in the summer, we get somebody in who is going to be a captain.
Yeah, and a good leader, as you say.
Yeah, we may well go for Cody in January. Who knows? But, we need a leader, and we need one. We probably need one in January to lead us out of the crap that we're going to be in. Toon says Fernandez has had a major bust up before the club, saying he blew up with everyone, badmouthed the club and staff, along with refusing to play for Newcastle United. I'm not sure about that, but again, rumours are rumours.
Yeah, well, you could be right. We don't know.
Yeah. What's happened to Willock? He saved us last season. We need him at his best. Nobody knows, matey. We know he's carried a little bit of a knock, but that's no excuse, really. He should be performing a lot better than he is.
Should be.
I'd like to see 4-3-3 with Hayden, Willock and Shelvey, in the centre, and chuck any two you like up top with Cal. I think that's the midfield going forward, to be honest. I do. And I think that will probably free up... Well, I'm hoping it would probably free up Willock a bit better, Dave, to go on the more forward runs.
And as he said before, when somebody else put a solo up with Willock there, I think he plays better further up the field going forward. So he was going almost box to box on Saturday. So yeah, further up, get the ball and go for it because he can run. He's a quick lad. So yeah,
good stuff. Good evening, Ronald. Wish we had a captain which the other players in the squad respected. Yeah, there is no respect there. But it's just one of them things. The two Ronnies, well, it's good now. Oh, shut your face. Brian says, ask this, Dave. If we lose the next two, will we give up? Geordies don't give up.
Geordies don't give up. You're absolutely right, Brian. I think everybody's right. What they're saying is that the next two games are incredibly important. We need to get 6 points. But it's not over yet. If we lose the next two games, God forbid we lose them. But if we get a draw and a win or whatever, there's still lots of points to play for. And if we, whoever we get in January, 2 or 3 or 4 good players, there's still plenty of points to play for.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got an awful December, but after that, we're back to where we start, and we might be able to pick some points up. And it's like somebody said it on, winning becomes a habit, as does losing become a habit. We've got to break that cycle, and that's got to start on Tuesday night.
Evan says, will Mr. Harrison be your co-host now, Paul? Yes, he is. Obviously not every show, but most of them,
No,
you know,
shows, yeah.
the reviews, previews, things like that. Mr. Harrison will be on the fan forum he takes part in anyway. So yeah, he'll be a regular fixture on the channel. So if you want, he will be signing autographs tomorrow night outside the club shop if anybody wants to come and see him.
I'll be out at the food bank for a while as well. So if you want to,
he'll
come and see me,
he'll charge at you with a bucket of money.
Give me your money.
He's very aggressive when he has the money bucket in his hand.
Well, it's
Sean says this team cannot play for 90 minutes, not fit enough. Will says Willock's horrid. No fire, no fight, and no and so much exasperation in body language. Maybe it's a TV thing, and he looks better from the stands. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. No.
And he needs to work on it. Both Norwich and Everton are on Amazon. Yes, they are. Yeah. We have to remember that this defence, we have been with us a long time, definitely need a reshuffle and new players brought in. Upwards and onwards it will come.
Right,
that's an interesting comment, but, if you look at it the other way, they've been together for so long, they should not be at odds and ends like they are. They should be perfectly in cohesion with each other, because there was if you look at Martinez's goal yesterday, they just weren't a straight line. They were diagonal. And
45 degrees, wasn't it?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And everybody's saying, it was Richie's fault for letting them go. Where was the covering centre back?
Yeah.
We've got to be... They should be playing with plenty confidence, because they're used to playing alongside each other, not all over the park.
And that's the one thing I've always said about Paul Dummett when he's fit. I know, again, he's, people's opinions and the season's not good enough, but when he played, he was always screaming at the back four, keep your line. And, that's not happening. And again, that's down to the captain. It really is.
Susan says, Paul's got plans for a quiz coming on the show soon. Watch this space.
Oh, there you go.
Well, yeah. That's my manager talking. What can I say? You just have to do what she tells us to.
You've got to say yes and get on with it.
Yeah, Keith says that's the nicest way to F off. To say F off. Okay. I don't know whether he's talking about my rant or not. I don't know. If we go down, does FFP apply, and can we do a big sponsorship deal without the Premier League stepping in? Yes, we can.
Yep.
If we go into the EFL, the Premier League have no jurisdiction on us
whatsoever
at all. So we can do what we bloody well want. John, good evening. Paul, Dave, do you think if we get relegated, the PIF will pull the money from our club and leave Amanda and the Reuben brothers high and dry?
Absolutely not. No way.
Chance.
They're well known for, if they invest in something, they will not necessarily throw money at it, but they will ensure that the right money goes in to make that investment work. And that's not just saying from a Newcastle fan. They have done that consistently throughout the years with whoever they take over, and I think that'll be the case with us. Well, I hope it's the case with us, but I'm pretty damn confident that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Good evening, Paul. Hope you're well, mate.
Hi, Paul.
Dodged a bullet with Rafa.
No.
We did, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
You Rafa lovers, Dave. Let it go.
Let it
go.
That ship has sailed. But yeah, I loved him a bit. I just it was always the end game when he took his glasses out and put them in the back pocket. That just made me smile. But anyway, go on. Move on.
Nathan says Burnley away last season was a massive game and ASM won us it. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But it's consistency. That's what we're talking about, Nathan. I agree. Yeah. Listen, I love Maxi as much as the next Newcastle fan does, and I think he's a wonderful talent. But we just need to improve his game, and I'm sure the coaching staff will do that with him. We'll work on him just like they're working on Joe Linton. Ab says keep the faith. The good times are coming.
Absolutely.
Rafa is Bruce in a waistcoat. Oh, dear me.
Harsh.
Wow. Chipper says apparently the kickoff time has changed on Tuesday to 6:10.
Oh, Chipper's mad.
Ha ha ha. ASM needs to pull his finger out. Graft will trump up talent if talent is lazy. Great double act, you two lads. Thank you very much.
Very kind.
Rafa will be available soon. Yeah, I don't care. He's not coming back to Newcastle.
No, too late now. Had his chance, missed it.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of people saying it was Derby that did the Great Escape. I'm confident ASM and Wilson will turn up against Norwich, says John. I really hope so. I really do hope so.
Yeah.
Darren says, get them Sports Direct signs out of our stadium. We might just start to win more matches. Well, it could be that those bloody signs are a hoodoo over Newcastle United. Get
could
them
well
out the
be.
ground, get them going,
Yeah.
and maybe we might just see a team.
Even
and a few
Amanda
more
said
wins.
she hates them because when she wants to get a picture inside the ground,
They're bloody everywhere.
she can't get a picture without them in. She clearly wants them out. But
I know.
there may well, one or two people have said that there was some sort of deal when the tip went through that they would stay towards the end of the season. And I just think, you know what? How much is it going to cost for a few million quid? Yeah, it's more money in his back pocket, but God, the seat's uncomfortable. Sorry, Paul.
Told you, Dave. You need to get a couple of cushions on there, for,
I've got do you know what it is? I'm sitting on two cushions. It's still
all
not
that
working.
bloody arthritis. You need to get yourself one of them medical chairs, Dave, and then
I'll have to get some. Yeah,
one that tips you in and out of the seat.
We could both get one of them streaming chairs, couldn't we, Paul? That's what we need. Yeah.
Well, for me, fair enough, Dave. But I think you need to look more, for all those bones dropping out and stuff like that. Just make sure you.
The Joes are getting old, mate. The Joes are getting old.
I think you look quite cool in a streaming chair, Dave. You've got your throne. I would just move your throne into wherever you're filming from and just sit on that. That's got to be a bit more comfortable than a bloody dining chair.
Absolutely.
Kieran says, did anyone think Maxi looks injured? Look, he looks injured all the time. He comes on the pitch looking like the goddamn mummy off a movie, for God's sake.
He's got
let's be honest. He looks. You can't see any of his skin because it's bandages. It's crazy.
True. I mean, and if that makes him feel better, absolutely fine. I got no issues with that at all. But you've got to win. I mean, even Richie's had a wrist and thumb thing on for most of the season. It's never been mentioned. I mean, anyway, whatever.
Abs makes a point there. We need to call in an exorcist to get rid of Ashley's ghost. That's not too bad. No, Mike says, go on, Paul. Obviously on about my rant. Yes, here we go. Love a Paul rant, says Geordie. Ab says, I genuinely think Gabby is a bit backward. Fair enough. Yes, Paul. Dan says, great show, guys. We must win the next two. If not, we are done for this season. Rebuild and come back stronger and go for it. John says, Brummies make Scousers look posh. Wow. Fawad says, Gabby Agbonlo. I thought Gabby Logan said all those things on TalkSport. No. Northeast is the best.
Absolutely.
Damn right. Fantastic rant, sir. Thank you very much. Carlos says, wow, Michael, Paul saw you donated to John's channel. Great stuff, buddy. Yeah, I did. I donated at night on his stream. He does well, so I sent him a tenner. For England and St. George moment. Best city in the UK, best people and best looking women in the UK. Well, God almighty. Dublin's on a... Gabby, 1 goal a year. There is clearly an agenda against the Northeast. Newcastle is the best city in the world. Love the Toon. Thank you very much. Go on, Paul, lad. We lit that touch paper. Yeah. Geordie Ian says your rants are great. Thank you very much. Does anyone actually listen to Talk Shite? Unfortunately, well, it was cast all over Twitter. You can't not have seen it. You know what I mean? No. And it just... fair enough. You talk about football teams and the banter with teams, and we know as Newcastle United fans, we get it in the neck all the time. But when an idiot like him sits there and blasts out that who would want to live in Newcastle, bollocks, man!
Get away
Absolute
with you, man.
Bollocks.
Get away.
I tell you what, Gabby Agbonla here. Go to the bathroom. If you're watching this, go to the bathroom right now. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, "I'm a dickhead," and go and take your face for a shit.
You've had a mess, man.
Yeah.
Do you know the only time I've listened to TalkSport and ever is when Simon Thingy Whatnot was up here in Newcastle a couple of months ago doing the talking, and I thought I listened to see what he actually said, and he was so quiet, hardly said a boot to a goose. And it's like a lot of people have said on all sorts of shows and all sorts of things. You get a troll. He's not a troll, but he does have a go at fans. And when they see them face to face, they absolutely crap themselves. Yeah, and that's what happened. And if Abby came up here, and so he wouldn't say boat to a goose, because that's what they're doing. You're right. They do it for get a bite, and it's all about the more clicks and posts they get, the more the sponsor say, "Oh, we'll give you a bit more money." That's what it's all about.
He's
And
a monumental bellend, is what
yeah,
he is.
yeah.
Right?
Even I
Simple as
comment.
that.
I don't know me, but I thought I can't leave this, so I wanted
No.
to had a right go. And I said, "You've clearly never been here," and as you said before,
The man can't even grow a beard, man. Look at him. He looks like a 2-year-old child with bum fluff. He's got no right to say that about our
No.
city. No
No.
right at all. He's
How-
just a
I want-
tit.
I wonder how we'd like it if we would start to have a right go at Birmingham and call it,
Yeah, well, plenty of people have on Twitter. If you look at the replies.
And you'd come back and say, well, that's actually not fair. You shouldn't do that, But that's what he's doing. He's having a go.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't.
We're sticking up for the city we live in. Why shouldn't we
Yeah,
ever go back?
yeah,
He's brought it
absolutely.
all on. Nobody else.
Yeah, you started it, Bunny lad. We're going to finish it.
Absolute goddamn muppet.
Mhm.
Simon says, well said, Paul. The amount of people I know that have moved to the northeast from down south makes Gabby Ogbonlaho's views sound ridiculous. Rob Lee, Warren Barton. Yeah, exactly. Geordie says there's always been an agenda against the northeast, yet the likes of Rob Lee, Ferdinand Barton, Cockney boys, in short, all love the northeast. Why? Because it's fantastic place to live.
You got to look at Mark McDonald. I mean, he came up from
Never
London,
left.
played, and he never
Well,
left.
he did
I mean,
leave, but he lives
went
in
out, as soon as he finished playing, he was straight back up here, and he's settled, married up here, and loves it. So and he's a southern lad, but he loves it.
Cesare says Paul like those teachers who the class deliberately winds up so he can have a rant instead of doing lessons. Fully agree with you, the one like Bonlaw. The best people I know are Geordies. Mike says, stick that in your pipe, Gabby. How Paul's just nailed you. Jeez, matey. I feel like a fight in Rocky after that. Hey, I would love it. Absolutely love it. A charity boxing match with that little prick. I'm telling you now. I would love it. Children in need, comic relief, sports relief, whatever it may be, I will step in that ring and bust his ass and just prove what a brilliant, strong community this northeast area is, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I'd knock him into next month, prick. Kieran says, come on, Toon. NUFC for life. I'm a Geordie who sadly lives in Sunderland for work. Today I had a chat with a Mackem at the bus stop about our respective teams. Even though we're rivals, people of the Northeast are a good bunch. Yes, they are. 99.9% of them, will always talk to each other and talk about, if it's a chat about football, the banter's great. And I'm always for this, right? I don't understand the violence when it comes to Newcastle, Sunderland. I don't get it at all. It's ridiculous. So I would rather think about, you have your banter, but when it comes to talking about football with Newcastle and Sunderland fans, they'll sit and talk for hours because that's how it is.
You're right. I've got a few mates who are Sunderland fans, and we often just have a good old chew with a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever, or beer, and just chat away. And I mean, yes, we take the mick out of each other, but it's all, as the Kenny Everett say, was all of the best possible taste. But we always remain mates.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Even when they were beating us and we were beating them, we would wind them up a bit, but give them a hug. Still mates, and that's what it's all about. And that's a good thing about North East. We'll welcome anybody with open arms and say, "Come on." I mean, I remember years ago, I probably said this on other shows, but BBC I think did a thing where they got a woman, an actress, obviously dressed up, looking like she was in her mid-70s, with an A to Z, lost, and she went to London, I think Birmingham as well, and a couple of other cities in Newcastle, and was saying to people in London, I'm lost, and they just went, I'll give it the office and walked away, and she was completely ignored. Came up here and just in the middle of the street, and she says, "Where's Gray's Monument?" Which is, right around the corner, and people are saying, "I tell you what, I'll walk you around just around the corner." And quite a few did that. And that's the way we are. If somebody, they're lost, come on, I'll get you. That's what we do, because we're lovely people.
Thomas says, Paul, would you mind me and the missus coming up and saying hi to you before the Villa game when we fly in February? Would be great to meet you. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. We always stand beside the club shop at least a good hour before the game. Dave does his food bank stuff and then goes over, and we're all there. PD Proudlock's there, and we're all doing our interviews and stuff like that. So definitely, no problem at all.
Great to meet up, really would.
As long as you approach Dave and you bow to him before you speak to him, that's the rule. Unfortunately, as a few Newcastle United fans have done already. They've come up to Dave before the matches and They've recognised him and they've immediately gone King of Northumberland and bowed down to him, which I got punched for, by the way. Dave then swung a right hook my way. But yeah, just be careful when you approach royalty. He can be a bit tender. So,
the really sad and embarrassing thing on Friday night when I went to the Lucha and the Peter Beardsley thing, somebody said, "Oh, look, it's King of the Middle. How are you doing?" I thought, "Oh, geez, getting recognised." Embarrassing, but good
King
fun.
of Northumberland. Hey, I tell you what, you'll be walking in that ground, people will be bowing to you. Kieran says, no, but the last sitting with him is apparently a Newcastle fan, and she didn't say anything. I couldn't sit there listening to him talk crap about our club and say nothing. Exactly. I was disappointed. Maybe, she just thought to herself, if I respond here, I might say something that I could regret.
Personally, she's got to be so careful.
I mean, personally, if it was me sitting with that little marble-headed twat, I would have actually said something. I would have picked my microphone up and knocked him into the middle of next month.
Yeah,
nobody slags the city off that you're living like that. It's just disgraceful. The fantastic Geordie nation, the Northeast nation, when it comes to people slagging the Northeast off, it doesn't matter whether Newcastle, Sunderland, Darlington or whatever it may be. We're all in it. We're all part of that community. Whether yes, we don't like each other's football teams, but we are the Northeast. And to say something like that is it's pitiful and it stinks. It's just rotten to the core.
Rotten. I think in her defence, that obviously as the host of the show and working for them full time, if you like, you've got to be careful. And I think it was quite right that you moved it straight on to, do you think there'll be loan signs trying to get away from him having a go at the club, so.
Yeah. Keith says these players can afford a private jet less than an hour to London. Look, I mean, bottom line is, Liverpool have world-class players. Manchester United, Manchester City, right? Now, nobody can say that Liverpool, Manchester is any better or worse than Newcastle.
No.
So, and let's face it, Manchester, that's just an hour and a half down the road. It's not exactly like, it just stinks. It's just all bollocks. It's to come out and say,
it's an agenda against
nobody wants to live in Newcastle. It's disgusting.
It is. Absolutely.
Never mind. Cesare says, I think you guys, Paul, Mr. Harrison, John, Baz, Peter, need to call into TalkSport to challenge their narrative or invite them onto a special, please. Listen, I've invited Simon Jordan on many times. He's bottled it, to be honest. I'm trying every day to try and get one of them on because I'd love to just sit there in an adult way, of course, and have a conversation about what it is that the Northeast is, what drives them to this utter hatred of Newcastle, the Northeast. What is it? Brian says, sorry, dropped the phone. He's probably drunk again, Brian. Mike says, no offense, but Birmingham and Manchester and London are complete toilets. I've lived in London and Manchester, so I know what I'm talking about. Birmingham in certain places is like an open sewer. You get that everywhere. Yeah. You get it everywhere. But it doesn't mean that they're not good places to live. You get bad parts of Newcastle, you get bad parts of Sunderland, you get bad parts of Durham. It's the fact of what he said by saying no one wants to live there. Yeah. You get bad parts in every city, every village, every town. It doesn't matter. But one thing you can't take away is the people, the good people that live here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just making us, again, scapegoats by saying things like that. We are brilliant people up here, and we always will be brilliant people. Yep. So Gabby Agbono, honestly, I do want to put him in a rocket and send him to space and never come back. He's an absolute prick. And honestly, when it comes to talking about the area you live in, Dave, you know how passionate I can get.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's heart on sleeve stuff with me. I say it how I see it. And I will always stick up for when it comes to people slagging my club or where we live. Nah, I'm not having it.
No, not acceptable.
Shanio says Shelby has been our best player since Howe took charge. Looks a completely different player.
He does.
Yep. He got a fifth booking. He must be talking about Lascelles.
Yeah.
Lascelles and Clark have to be replaced in January. I agree. Without a doubt. I would pay to see Paul rant live on TalkSport. Listen, if anyone from TalkSport is listening, I'd gladly come on anybody's show and actually stick up for the Northeast and Newcastle especially. But will you actually have somebody like me on, or will you just get somebody on who will bow down and is a yes person and just say, right, well, you can't say this or you can't say that, mind, so just be nice. Yeah. You need to get proper people on your show. Otherwise, you just bollocks. Anyway,
agreed. Absolutely.
Manchester is not bad. London is weird. I like Manchester, actually. I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
Christmas market's fantastic down there, by the way. Nice words, Paul. We love the Toon and the Northeast. Craig says this is his team. Dubravka, Manquillo, Shah, Federico Fernandez, Lewis, Hayden, Shelby, Willock, ASM, Wilson, J7. 4-3-3 would be my choice on Tuesday, but agree, can't see Fed getting a look in. 4-3-3 is, we'll come on to the formation in a second, just as we end the show. But I do think 4-3-3 may be a positive, Dave, to go forward with.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, and then they often say that you need to have good players to play 4-3-3, but if they are coached properly, and Eddie and the team get their point over, I think it would work. I do think we've got the quality. Well,
yeah,
or quality, but we have enough quality to play that way. I do.
Jack says, I think Miggy could flourish under Howe if played as a number 10. Paul, Dave, what do you think? Dave, I'll let you. I've had my say on.
Yeah, I mean, I know you think he's a bit of a busted flush. I'd love to see him play, but having said that, if you look at how long has he been here, 2 and a bit years, he has flattered the deceiver on quite a bit. He scored a few good goals, runs around, does well. He certainly, I think there's a player in there, but I think your point is right. Is he strong enough and robust enough to play in the Premier League? You said when he plays for the international side, he looks a different player, but of course it's a slightly slower, less physical game there, so he is going to flourish.
Yeah.
So I'd in the words of KK, I'd love it if he became a great player. But
I mean, I've said as well, I'd love to get egg on my face with Miggy. I really would. I'd love to see him just thrive under Eddie Howe. I just think the Premier League is a little bit too much for him.
Well, let's face it, Paul. We've done it with Joe Linton. We've slagged him off for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then the last few games, you think, wow. Even before Eddie Howe came in, I mean, his last couple of games for Steve Bruce, he was looking much better. And then to get a man of the match last weekend, you're just thinking you would have never said that in all the time he's played for us. And here we are saying man of the match. He wasn't so good on Saturday, but he was against a far better team. So yeah.
Look, the problem is Saturday the whole team was off. We weren't in the races. I mean, the first half an hour, yes, I thought we did all right. We didn't have, they didn't threaten us, and we played quite well defensively. We looked a bit organised, but after half time, it just seemed to go to shit. I mean, Eddie Howe said that as well, didn't he? He said,
he did. He was quite open.
He saw the one thing before half time. Eddie Howe is very pragmatic in a way. He's not going to go there and slag his players off. We know from what the Bournemouth fans have told us that he is not frightened of going in that dressing room and busting a gut and screaming at the players. Now, maybe he did that behind closed doors. That's his prerogative as manager. He's not going to come out and destroy the players live on television.
No, and that's something I don't think he's ever done. He's always used the royal we in that one, and I've seen him. Yeah. In the past doing things, so I mean that's what you do as a manager. I was for years. If there's a problem with member of staff, you back them all away in front of others, then close the door and say, let you and me have a word, fella, and that's what you do.
Sean's comment I don't agree with. How couldn't make Bournemouth hard to beat when they got relegated? That worries me. Look, at the end of the day, Bournemouth were only relegated, by the way, by a dodgy online goal decision for Villa that kept Villa in the league and not Bournemouth.
Absolutely.
And what about all the stuff he did before that? People have like focused on the relegation, and I don't understand why. Every manager gets relegated. Klopp's been relegated before.
Yeah.
It annoys me in a way.
The other thing, Paul, you're absolutely right. I mean, he brought them up. He took them from virtually going out of the league all the way through to whatever it was. Was it 5th or 6th? I can't remember. In the league, did really well, but they sold some of the better players, and he wasn't back to where he should have been. And that's why when it was inevitable it would go down, because a bit like us now, there was no new players brought in, and that's why they went down. I think had they backed him and bought the players you wanted, they wouldn't have went down. And you're absolutely right. I mean, Villa, in my opinion, shouldn't be in the Premier League at the minute, because that was an absolutely terrible decision. How the hell, VAR's not there, goal line technology isn't working. Oh well, there you go. Appalling. Sorry,
good night, Thomas.
See you, mate.
The thing is, Dave, right? They talk about this relegation that Eddie Howe has, right? it wouldn't have happened had the goal line technology worked. And you could say, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but it was goal difference or it was by 1 point. Doesn't matter. He
No.
wouldn't have been relegated had that decision gone. So he
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have had the relegation on his CV
Yep.
if the goal line technology had worked that night.
Yeah.
Simple as.
Yep,
But to go to put him down for one relegation and not think about the wonderful, wonderful things he did for a small club like Bournemouth to bring them through the division. Remember, they were going out of the Football League when he took them over. They were rock bottom of the Football League. And he took them from there to the Premier League.
Weren't they deducted 12 points that year for something?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
So you won that back and got them, above the relegation zone, and then just went on from there.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You need to focus on the positives, guys. What's the latest with the Premier League and the self-sponsors thingy? Well, they've extended it, but put a request in, Dave, for cushions and chairs to the Toon review.
Yeah, I've got.
So I'm now going to have to provide His Royal Highness when he's got a sodden throne and butlers in there.
To be fair, I do have an office upstairs that I used to use for archery and that. The only problem is I can't get a decent signal up there, so I'll have to sort something out. Because this is that's not working. It really isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Never mind.
Mike says a recliner and a stair lift for War Dave. Listen,
sure.
When we've been to the Irish Centre the last 2 Fridays, Dave, I have actually, said that the Irish Centre needs to get a stunner in for you to get up the stairs.
Well, it has got a lift, to be fair, but I just use the stairs.
You just waddled up.
By
the time we get to the top, the show's already started. So
the beers are on the table.
By the time we're waiting for Dave to get his ass up the stairs. NUFC for life, I'm offended. Newest double act, large and not so large. Wow. Well, thanks very much for that. Danielle's no nonsense attitude, and then it would be perfect. Well, I'm hoping she'll be back, guys. The three of us, the 3 of us on the show would be great. So, let's just keep fingers crossed.
If you're watching, Daniel, all the best to you and Lee. Hope you're well.
Definitely. Kieran says he just had to get the last dig managing to keep them shite direct signs up. Yeah, I know. It's like a voodoo doll. Paul, I have a plan for Amanda. She should hire Tamuri Ketsbaya for the final day of the Sports Direct signs and let him smash them down. That would be great.
I
don't think you'd have to pay any Newcastle United fan any money to come into that ground and destroy the signs. Absolutely. I think we'd all gladly come in there with a couple of mallets and get rid of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paul says, I love the show. Yeah. Trull says, great show as always. Peter,
Thanks,
good
Truls.
evening, buddy. Lascelles and Richie won't be missed, in my opinion. What were they doing for Arsenal's goals? Yeah, well, what were the whole defence doing? I mean, we
fair point.
Go on. I hope you get rid of them Sports Direct signs. Chipper says, PD Proudlog. Oh, God almighty, get lost, Chippers. John says, evening, fellas. Are we not better with a back 4? We seem all over the place with 3 centre-backs. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're hoping for, Dave. Right. What would your formation be for Tuesday night then? Have you got a team there?
I have. Where is it? I wrote it down. See, tell you, man, planning ahead. I wanted Manquero, Fernandez, Shaw, and Lewis as a back 4.
Yeah.
And then I wanted Hayden, Shelby and Willock, and then Fraser, ASM, and Wilson, or not Fraser, but Joelinton.
No. If you're the manager, Dave, I've
got to do it right. Okay,
you have to put an 11 out.
Okay, I'm going to put Joelinton in.
Wow. Okay, that's fair enough. Actually, I'd go Dubravka.
Yes, obviously Dubravka in goal. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. I'd go Dubravka, Manquillo right back, centre backs of Shah Fernandez, left back. I want to see Lewis back, but I don't think he will.
No.
I honestly think he could end up playing Clark at left back.
Yeah.
If he goes with a 4. In the midfield, I'm going for a 4-3-3. I want to see Hayden sitting in front of the back 4, Willock and Shelby.
Yeah.
And then the 3 up top is going to be Joelinton left, Maxi. Well, actually, Joelinton right and left with Maxi swapping over all the time and Wilson up front. And then obviously
similar teams.
Yeah, Fraser coming on maybe in the second half, Murphy coming on second half. Just really go for them. Go for them and give them a get. No, let Norwich come off the field knowing they've been in a hell of a battle and that Newcastle aren't going to slip away with the fairies. They're going to put up a fight.
Yes, as at the end of what was that film where the aliens invaded when he got in. He said, "We'll not go quietly into the night." Can't remember what they call the film was. Anyway,
yeah. We will not go quietly into the. That was on Independence Day.
That's the one. Yes,
yeah. That was a tremendous speech. In fact, we should try and write that out, and I'll say it on the Four Horsemen tomorrow. I'll just come out and say it. We will not go quietly into the night.
This is
That goes to you too, Agbon Lahore. Us Northeasterners, we will not go quietly into the night. You will never get rid of us. Ever.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Ricky says nearly every single goal we conceded, even the two yesterday, were avoidable. That's worrying. We rarely concede goals that you just have to say too good, like Fernandez goal. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think, Dave, if we cut out the crap goals, we stand a chance.
Yeah,
but that's what we're talking about defending.
Yeah, and it is that winning becomes a habit, as does losing become a habit, and that's where those silly, daft goals come from. And you're absolutely right. We need to stop those, and that's just going to take lots of work on the training ground. And Eddie and the team, especially Eddie, stand and rollick in the defender, saying, "Why aren't you stood there?" And that's what he's got to do. So
yeah. Carlos says that you've got piles, apparently, Dave.
No, I've just got a very uncomfortable seat and thin cushions, Sonny.
Well, you did complain about the seating on Friday night as well, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
I would get an appointment with the doctors just to check that you haven't got any grapes in there, Dave, because that might be causing the problem.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's just
at your age. You never know. I'm just saying.
Old and arthritic hips. That's what it is.
Give up. You could still disco dance, man. Louis has been trying to teach my American friend Geordie.
Tell him to look online and buy the Learn Yourself Geordie books by Scott Dobson.
Yes, the quality of
them. They're really good. Really good.
Somebody suggested the Southern media's attitude towards the Northeast borders racism. They might have a point. Great place to live. Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah. I mean, you said it before. Maybe it was a bit. You'd seen a couple of comments like that, and you thought maybe they were overstretching the mark. But why not? I mean, if we were to talk about a certain race of people, we'd be hammered for racism.
Yeah.
So why is Gabby Agbonlahor saying that about, nobody wants to live in Newcastle?
Yeah. As I said earlier, had he said nobody wants to play for Newcastle, I'd disagree strongly. But you think, okay, that's your point of view. But he said nobody wants to live in Newcastle. And that's abhorrent in my book.
Oh, Paul, you go mad. You don't even live in Newcastle. No, I don't. I live in Durham. But that's by the by, right? I've been a Newcastle fan since I was a knee high to a grasshopper, right? Yeah. I'm talking about the Northeast in general. But I have a very special place in my heart for Newcastle. My dad's from Newcastle. I'm from Newcastle originally, right? So don't come at me with that crap, right? I'm talking about the Northeast in general, which is a fantastic place to live. Newcastle is 5 minutes up the road from me. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, it's true when you look at all the people on here, like the Chesney and all that. So-called Geordie and everything on Twitter who hardly ever been across here, only a handful of times. They love the place, So if somebody from America, from Africa, was it South Africa where Chesney lives, if they love the place, well, it's
exactly. Our stadium is still the best thing in our world, but if we don't move them Sports Direct signs, where would when we keep losing if we don't? Yeah, well, they will be coming down.
They will, yes. It's just a case of it's more when, not if.
Yeah, Thomas says I always bow to royalty. Many people do now outside that ground, honestly, Dave. I live down south and miss my beloved Northeast every day. Yeah, you do. How many games did Palace go without a win that season? They had De Boer as manager, and Big Sam saved them. Look, let's not talk about Big Sam. Chesney says, I'll never forget how the Geordies loved what Defoe did for Bradley Lowry, who obviously a Sunderland player. Yeah. Rivals on the field, but people up north have hearts of gold and deserve more respect than what they get. Exactly.
True. Absolutely right.
Absolutely right, if you look, Bradley Lowry's case in general, it was fantastic what Jermaine Defoe did for that little guy, going through all that.
Sorry, Paul.
What's the matter?
Sorry, I've just seen it. You'll come to it. I've just seen it.
Okay.
Apologies for laughing. I didn't mean it. It wasn't.
No. Don't. We're talking about the kind of generosity that goes around the Northeast.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
When you look at what happened to Bradley, he was getting
tragic.
When his parents were putting out the latest on his health and things like that, and photos of him. There wasn't just Newcastle fans. There was people from all over the place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But every time that Bradley Lowry's anniversary comes up, there's thousands of Newcastle fans always post on there saying, rest in peace, little one, and all of that kind of stuff. And that's just what we are.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking,
it's
but
yes, we all come together in really sad situations like that.
Ryan says, sorry, guys, my wife is Swiss. Fair enough. Anybody, there's nothing wrong with that at all, Ryan.
No.
Darren says, Tino Asprilla loved the city. Why wouldn't any players live in Newcastle? Give them good wages, they will come. Of course they will.
Yeah.
Talkside don't want a conversation. They're clickbait lowlifes. Birmingham hasn't moved on from Peaky Blinders. I've seen that said quite a lot today, to be honest. Ed says it's an agenda against Newcastle for the fear of the Saudi money. And the Northeast always voted for old school Labour, not Murdoch's Blairites. Always gets haggard with Darth Murdoch coverage. Yeah. Just imagine what Newcastle would be like after Piffer finished investing in the Northeast. Because Manchester and Liverpool are a tropical paradise. It rains all the time. It does rain a lot in Manchester, I must admit.
Yeah. And Newcastle's got one of the lowest rainfalls of any city in the UK. So there you go.
Exactly. Paul, I bet you never lost a game in your street as a kid. We'll just sort of brush over that. Gary says, but no one does want to live in Newcastle. Anyone know anyone who moved there?
Yeah, I know. I've got 3 or 4
I know loads
mates.
of people. Gary, that's a pathetic comment, mate. Come on.
No.
If it's sarcastic, fair enough. But if that's a genuine comment, mate, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, very quickly, Paul. Like many years ago, I used to do a lot of work with the Gosford Park Hotel, and I went there one day. There was a new front house manager who I met, Cockney through and through. Had that accent, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing up here? I've been shifted up here to learn front house." He said, "Kind of way to go back down. Don't want to be in the Northeast there." And then 4 or 5 years later, we got to know him. Got pretty close to him, good friends. And then I saw him one day, and his face like proverbial slap back, and it was him. He says, "I've just been offered promotion back to London." I went, "Oh, you going?" He says, "Nah, I'm going to turn it down. I love it here. And if I've got to go, I'll resign and go somewhere else." And I saw him 3-4 years ago, I think, and he's still living up here, married a local girl, kids, and loved it, would never go back. So that's just one example.
I've been to London loads of times, numerous occasions. I don't like it. I wouldn't. Well, I like it. I like to go for
holidays,
whether it be a weekend away or whatever it be, but not. I couldn't live there.
No, it's too busy. I said the other week, when I stayed there for thick end of 3 months over the 2012 Olympic Games, honoured and privileged to do that. And I mean, the first week I was, I'm in London. It's exciting. And the second week I'm in London. It's great. That's why the third week, get me home. And it's nothing against London. It's just when you're from a smaller place and it's less busy. The tubes and the buses are rammed, and everything's so expensive. So if you live there and you like it, absolutely more play to you and support it all the way. But sorry, guys, not for me. Not my cup of tea at all.
Kieran says, I'm pretty sure you can ring up, Paul. You should do it. It'd be great to listen to you put them in their place. I'm not going to pay. It's ridiculous amount of money to ring them.
Yeah, it's a premium rate as well, isn't it?
I think they ring you back, but you still got to ring the premium rate number to arrange the call back, which is mental. Marx is very nervous about this game. I really can't see us coming back if we lose one of the biggest games in a long time. Yeah, it simply is a must-win game. Tuesday's game is live on Amazon Prime, if people didn't know. It is indeed. Ryan says, no one in the right mind with money lives in Newcastle. It's a lovely place, lovely people, but food is shit, weather is shit, and girls could potentially be overweight. So that's a shocking thing to say, Ryan.
That's not fair, Ryan. I don't agree with any of that.
Ryan, I know you're regular on the channel, mate, but that is pathetic. Yeah, absolutely pathetic. And if that's your attitude, mate, please unsubscribe and bugger off. I'm sorry, but I don't want subscribers to think Newcastle like that. That is a pathetic thing to say.
Yeah,
right. You really should have a word with yourself about that.
You're a good lad. We've interacted a lot, but I'm sorry, fella. That's just that's not right.
Norwich says, back to the Arsenal game. The amount of decisions that went against us. Is there a referee plot against Newcastle United?
That was somebody said that today, didn't it? I think it was one of the Sky commentators that said that.
Yeah, there's your family on again, Dave. Just liking the show.
I saw. You all right, mate?
Paul, you're spot on, mate, about every city or town having its good and bad parts. It's just some of these inflatable penises pundits paint the picture as if these places are gold, but Newcastle isn't. I know. Gabby is a shocking indictment of the Birmingham education system. Jesuit says, Manchester isn't actually so bad. I quite like it there. Then again, I live in a dust bowl with sharks in my backyard. Exactly. If anybody didn't know, by the way, Cesare lives in South Africa and he's a great white shark wrestler. He's South African champion white shark wrestling.
Yeah, lovely
God. But he is a good lad. If Howe gets the defensive selection right and Willock doesn't struggle, we will beat Norwich. Burnley a bit more tricky, but still could win. Don't think Richie should be anywhere near our defensive line player further up the pitch or bench him. Nathan says all the famous Geordies, Anton Deck, Shearer, Sam Fender, etc. show what people in the Northeast are like. Guys you'd love to go for a pint with. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And to be fair to Anton Deck, right? Anton Deck, had a chance to go to America, but the Americans turned around and said, you need to change your accents, and stuff like that. And they didn't. So hats off to them,
Yeah.
Paul says, good evening. Your channel is the best. I love your sense of humor. I am a Geordie. Cheers, Paul.
Good man.
If it wasn't for Rafa, Donkey Lascelles would be playing in League One. Yeah, that's probably his level now. I'm just the way I see him. A Sky pundit picked up on the ref bias. It was just unbelievable, especially the first half. It was incredible. Howe kept them up for 4 years previous. Exactly, Stuart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people keep to forget that. Susan says, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and click notifications on to get alerted of all the shows coming up. Thank you. Couldn't have said that better myself.
Yeah, very good. Well done.
Brian says, we've got scientists, doctors, engineers, master shipbuilders, and that's just a start. Onwards and upwards to all the Geordies. Yeah,
Thanks,
stick that in your
Brian.
pipe and smoke it. Agbon Lahore.
Yeah.
You twat. I'm proud to be from the Northeast, not from the Toon. I live near Durham. Our history through industry, community, nice people anywhere in the Northeast. Yes, Carlos. I'm
True.
exactly the same as you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Eddie Howe took Bournemouth up with a minus 17 points deficit.
17
People
was it?
forget
Wow.
that.
Yeah. 17. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Cesare is applauding Brian. Bournemouth played some really attractive footy. Yeah, they did. But again, people are just too quick to forget that. Can't reduce a relegation down to one decision full season to make sure those decisions don't matter. Maybe so, but that is fact, though. Gary says, under Kevin Keegan, we was never in relegation dogfight, Paul. That's true. We have benefited from that dodgy decision. Without it, Howe would probably still be there. I'm not sure he would, because Howard admitted, I think he's already said that even if he kept them up, he would have gone because he wanted a break, which is fair enough. Paul is going to whack Gabby 610 times. Jesus Christ, honestly. BT commentator said Howe was never in a position as bad as now at Bournemouth. Guess minus 17 points in League Two. League Two ain't that bad. Yeah, but they all forget that, man. They forget it.
It's just getting away with a good story.
Exactly. Scott says, in fairness, I've heard commodes aren't very comfy.
I like it.
I could buy you one of them for Christmas Day.
No, you're all right. Thanks.
Well, I could buy you a mobile one as well, so you can just park it where you want and just let it fall.
Oh no, God! Oh, that's an image is going to take some getting rid of.
I tell you what, you're in trouble when you start needing a commode, Dave.
Oh, wow, yes,
I believe the Northeast is like a chain that will never break.
Yep.
Bournemouth had an injury crisis. Yeah, they did have an injury crisis as well, but we were actually KK started when we were at the bottom of the second league.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
We were heading down, weren't we?
You were. Yeah, we're a few games away from getting relegated, and it was almost the last couple of games of the season we stayed up that year, and then under KK, the rest, as they say, is history. Yeah.
Please listen to this man. Great comment. Lots watching. Not enough thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, viewers. Thank you very much. We've got about 5 minutes left now, so we'll go through the remaining comments. Fine with 3-4-3 again on Tuesday. We'll have more possession, possibly. 6 months ago, the injured Gabriel would have been offered an ambassadorial role for those comments. Dubravka is clearly the better goalkeeper without a shadow of a doubt. He is. We all know that.
Yeah.
Nearly every pundit think that any county outside the Northeast is paradise. They obviously haven't seen the other counties down south. Lewis will start Tuesday versus his old club. I hope he does. I really do. Can we get Mr. Mr. Dornhelm? Who's he, Dave?
No idea. Sorry.
Stephen, the Everton fan, says Rafa will take us down. Jack says I can see us playing Miggy left wing back rather than Lewis. Oh no.
He's not. No, he's not a defender.
No. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not go down without a fight. Get
Good
in,
one, Chesry. Good one.
Can't wait for the return of the Horsemen. Only joking with the large and not so large. Much love to the King of Northumberland.
That's really kind.
Yes. Another fan, Dave. Another fan.
We are looking forward to tomorrow night, though.
Yeah. Just on a break from work in New Zealand. Loving the show, lads. Loving your work. Thanks, Stuart.
Cheers, Stuart.
Royalty expect cushions, says Abs. I'm sure I have seen Dave headbanging in trillions.
Oh, but that was a few years ago, mate.
George Bennett.
No,
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't
If
do
Dave
it now.
tried headbanging now, his head would fall off his shoulders.
Absolutely. Yeah, get Disney to fall over.
The Chelsea goals were unavoidable, but most of the others were individual mistakes. Swap the mistake makers and we'll see what happens. Lascelles and Ritchie suspended is good. Simon says it's regionalism. Yep, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt.
Good point.
Not only hammered for racism, sponsored will pull the plug too. If we don't beat Norwich, we will be a laughing stock, says Barbara. Probably. We will be.
Yeah.
Everyone will laugh. Well, his mate Brucey didn't want to live here. No, he didn't. But, he wasn't a Newcastle fan anyway. Remember that.
Yeah.
Can just imagine it now. Paul going at it on TalkSport and all the views in the background. Rant. Ronald says hit the thumbs up, guys. Help the channel 100%. Thanks, buddy.
Cheers.
I'm like you, Paul. I live in County Durham, but born on the banks of the River Tyne, or as my mum says, should have been Hyde in the Tyne. Yeah, we've all had them comments. I could be called pet by a Geordie lass all day and not get pissed off.
Yeah.
Mike Ashley will always have the last laugh because he sold the ground behind the what? I don't know.
The Gallagher end.
All right. I'm the King of Northumberland, Butler. I live in Bedlington. I live in Rome, and I can't wait to get back to my home on Tyneside. After living abroad and working in many places, I miss my native Tyneside so very much, and it's the best place on the planet for me.
Yeah,
exactly. Good evening, buddy. Forever Ron. What's stopping a huge rich Saudi firm buying all the Premier League rights and screwing Sky Sports? It's not so much Sky Sports to me.
They just renewed it, didn't they? Last year in court, we'll just renew it because it was easier. But from what I understand, pay for the Saudis put in, it was nearly. I could be wrong. I mean, on numbers, but it was nearly £1 billion more, but it was just rejected, and it went straight back to BN Sports. I mean,
yeah. Cesare says, talking to Geordie Ian, I'm also his butler. Does he also make you trim his toenails? I think I've just vomited just slightly.
Yeah. There's a bit of a theme going on.
I feel that acid coming right into the throat there. That's not good.
Even
Carlos says, Ryan, that's disgusting. Yes, it is.
Certainly is.
Yes, at Cesare, but he lets me keep the clip. Oh, my flaming God.
Ian,
it's God. Listen to Ginola talk about the Northeast. He is converted. Personally, as a Chesley Street lad, I love Durham. Good on you, Christopher. Good on you. Yeah. Most nervous I've been in a while going into the Norwich and Burnley game. Matthew, chill your nerves. Chill your nerves. Just enjoy tomorrow and then get nervous on Tuesday.
Calm.
We'll be fine. Mm-hmm. We'll be fine. The Brentford game was crucial for us. 3 points was a must for us. We failed again. I'm afraid we're knackered, lads. John, no.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Not yet.
Scott says Cheryl Cole is worth coming over for. Supported this awesome club since 1982. Love Newcastle and love the club. NUFC till I die. Keep up the fantastic work. Let's get behind the team and hope we do enough.
Well said,
great
Chris.
Comment, Chris. Great comment. Rafa made the best of what he had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to the game on Tuesday. I haven't been to a Newcastle game since lockdown, so hopefully I will bring a win. Hopefully you will.
Yeah.
Good channel, boys, from a Norwich lad. Cheers, Matthew.
Cheers, Matthew.
Grew up in Notts, lived in London, now for work, can't stand central London. It smells like cancer. The outskirts aren't too bad, not as busy, plenty of amenities and good parks for dog walks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're lucky that you get no. I'm not talking about Dave's nail clippings, man. Getting sold on eBay. Dave's nail clippings are now getting sold on eBay.
Oh Jesus! Don't.
Your butlers have let you down there, Dave.
Certainly have. They've had a Sinclair.
Oh, no. Right, I'm just going to go down to the comments. And we're going to end the show. 3-1 win Tuesday with Miggy to score, says Robert. 4-2-1-3 is 4-1-2-3 is what Stuart wants. Kieran says, brilliant show again, lads. Everyone like and sub. Cheers, buddy. Loved this show from the start. First vid I saw of Paul was a really loud rant. Loved it. Cheers, Trolls. I'm taking the knee for regionalism. That's what we should do in the Northeast. Whenever we hear a whistle now, just kneel.
kneel.
Yeah. Daniel says Lascelles and Richie are the problem. Their suspension could be a blessing in disguise. I think it will be. I generally think that.
I think Paul and I disagree with Richie, but I think we're 100% on Lascelles.
Yeah, just to remind the idiots who don't rate the Northeast, Newcastle voted friendliest people in the UK, and Hexham just been voted happiest place to live.
It's true. That has, yeah.
Kiss my ass, Agbon Lahore. Michael says we have fantastic restaurants, we have brilliant nightlife, and then you have Northumberland with its castles and coastlines. Well, Dave actually lives in one of them. You know, he charges £15 to get in this southern thing, but he does live there. That's what he paid. You know, summer's very good for Dave Harrison. You say no football, so he charges people £15 to get in.
You know,
the restaurant charges like it must be about £9.50 for a scone, £4.50 for a coffee, and that's how he makes his money.
£7.45 for a scone and £3 for a coffee. How are you going to get it right?
So you're talking over a tenner for a scone and coffee.
So
all that money's ploughed into his season ticket. That pays for his gold wallpaper and all of this kind of crap, and obviously the upkeep of his throne,
shirts and everything,
and his gold underpants and everything else that goes with it.
But it doesn't pay for his comfortable seat. That's the trouble. So.
No. Oh God, Robert says £6.10 for the clippings. Brian says great show. Thanks everyone for the company. Cheers, Brian. Thanks for watching again,
Brian. Good lad. Brian.
Yeah, we are coming to the end of the show now, guys. So thank you very much. Ryan, I'm sorry, but what part of what I said is untrue? Pretty much everything. I know loads of people who've moved up from down south. Hundreds of people have done that in the time. Mm-hmm. You know, and the comment about the women is just disgusting, quite frankly.
It is.
You know, I take offense to that because I'm engaged to a Northeast lass. You know, so I take offense to what you said. And I'm sure all the other Geordies on here who have girlfriends and wives, or even, you know, women friends, you know, you're calling them all overweight. Mm-hmm. Not a chance, mate. Not a chance will I put up with comments like that. No. Shocking.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, Brian's such a lovely lad. We've always had a good chat with him, you know, so I don't know where he's coming from. But,
well,
it's opinions, and we can disagree with his opinions the same as he can disagree with ours.
There's opinions, Dave, and then there's downright... nasty. That is awful. I take offense. You know, I've got a lot of women friends, you know, who are fantastic people. You know, there's Gemma out there who is, you know, battling the trolls on a daily basis. Nobody seems to get to know her personally. You know, the proper Gemma. She's a wonderful girl, kind-hearted, good family person. You know, Susan, who I'm engaged to, fantastic. You know, absolute rock for me. And I'm sorry, but when you say things like that about women in the Northeast, then I'm sorry, you're offending every single person who's married to one.
Yeah. I think, Ryan, the thing we're saying is it's in every part of the country there are obese men and women. That's absolutely right. But when it's the tar them all with the same brush thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what
there's Danielle, you know, who I've got to know on here. Fantastic girl as well. Lovely lass, lovely fella, but a lovely lass. And I'm sure Lee's sitting there thinking, wow, you know, saying comments like that about my partner. Danielle is a fantastic person, as are all the Northeast ladies. You know, so give over with ridiculous things like that. Brian says he fell down the stairs again. Oh dear. Chipper says, Ryan, take your face for a shit. That opinion was vile. You deserve what you're getting here, Ryan. I'm sorry. Ryan, you were ignorant. Great show, lads. Love the show tonight, Paul and Dave. Great work. Cheers, lads. Enjoyed the show. Great show, lads. I'm sorry, but Ryan, I'm not reading that comment out because, again, you know, talking about obese people and the weather is terrible. You can kiss me arse, Ryan. Yeah. So you're blocked. I'm sorry. I'm not having it. Not having it at all. And I'm not having all my subscribers upset by comments like that either. You've really outdone yourself, Ryan. I'm sorry.
It's a shame. It really is.
Thank you very much, Barbara, for the £4.99 super chat. Great show. Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you.
John says, the theory, if we stick with wing backs, we'll get relegated. But if we change to a back four, we'll survive. Do you agree? I think we need to get rid of the... I want to go and see a back four now. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
Seen 2 shows now and grinned my head off. Proper good and funny show. Spot on, Paul. Thanks, buddy. I love Geordie Lasses, says Dublin. Of course you do. And I'm sure they'll love that pirate beard of yours.
Absolutely.
If I weren't tied to the south through family, I'd be looking to move up there. Ab says Ryan is a piece of shit. Blocked. There you go. Ryan Sweeney, F off. Poor from Ryan. Ryan needs banning. I've blocked him because I'm sorry. He's been part of the channel for a long time, and I understand where he's coming from with them comments. And I won't have that said, especially about people I care about, my friends, my partner. No way. Your wife.
Yeah, I mean it's a shame that you had to do it, but you're right, because we've had some good crack with Ryan for quite a while, and you always come across being a canny lad. But he's had a mare with that. I'm sorry.
Oh, mate, read everybody's origin and reason to accept mine. Read fewer troll comments and more from us who care. Yeah. Bad Ryan, poor form. The whole country has obese people. Exactly. And it is but if I'm not going to call out people for I'm overweight,
So
I could do with losing a few pounds, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make me a bad person.
No.
And call out like that, no way. He must be pissed up. Matthew says, Ryan, you're generalizing thousands of people for no reason. You're not quoting stats, just making up stuff for your own narrative, and you're a muppet. Sorry, but he's getting it in the neck, and he should. Huge week for the Toon. How are the lads? Ryan, I am a beast, but will you say it to my face? Ryan, shut up, you sausage. There are hundreds of Southerners moving up from down south to Darlington. Can't all be wrong. Get Ryan off. Yeah, he's gone. I love the northeast weather. Wouldn't change it for anything. Don't lie, Chippers. You're a Greek god. My wife is from the northeast. Fuck you, Ryan. That's the thing. He's going to those comments. They do not. A lot of people will be wanting to stick up for the people they're with you. Friends or family. You know what I mean? And Carlos is right there. You're married to a northeast lass. That comment has generalized northeast women. It's disgusting.
No, it's a shame. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
You should never disrespect the women because they could punch you in the face. Well, sounds like NUSC for Life's going to do. Well done, Paul, getting rid of this. See you next Tuesday. Keep your channel great. Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thanks. Thank you.
Right, last few comments. I love the climate we have. It's always hot down south. I lived in Kent for 10 years, originally from Northumberland. I live back in Bedlington now. I'd give everything to live in the north and become an honourary Geordie. Well, save up all your winnings from your championship Great White Wrestling tournaments, and now you'll be able to come over. Why can't people use these great shows and platforms to show positivity and talk about our fantastic club? No place for this on here. Great show, guys. Cheers, Bob.
Cheers, Bob.
Put him on suspension. Maybe his issues. If he's got issues, he can contact me and we'll sort it out behind the scenes. Does Alan Shearer not have a role at Newcastle United? He will.
No, he will. But I think more and more of the ex-pros will. I mean, I know Supermax's been going and others. So, I think that'll happen.
Luke says COVID rules coming Tuesday. Could be the last game you see. No, they're just masks on transport and shops. It's not affecting the football at all. He wouldn't dare. He wouldn't dare.
It'd be riot.
What's going to be the best London away game to take my girl to? There's plenty, mate. There's plenty. Ryan is going to have a mare when he looks at his phone in the morning. Indeed. We food enthusiasts must stand together without forks by our side in case there's appetizers. Some people may be obese because of illness. Exactly. I mean, the Parkinson's medication I'm on puts weight on. I can't do anything about that. Yep, fair enough, Michael. I can't stand some of our fans. Scott says Ryan clearly ghosted by a fat lass from the northeast. That's what he wanted to smile. Oh, dear God. Bucket list number 1 is to live in Newcastle for 1 year before I die and have a season ticket. Newcastle is incredible. There you go. Ryan is probably Gabby in disguise. Wow. Right. That's the end of the preview show. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I know me and Dave have. It's been great crack again, apart from a few stupid comments. But hey-ho, that's what happens.
That's life, isn't it, unfortunately.
It is. But we hope you've enjoyed it. Before we go, Dave, prediction?
Well, you know what I normally go for, but I'm going to go to 3-1. I honestly believe we'll get 3 goals again.
3-1 to Newcastle.
3-1.
Great. Great. Yeah. I'm going the same.
Oh, wow.
In fact, I'm not. No.
Oh, come on now.
No. I'm going 3-0. I
3-0.
don't think.
Okay.
I think our first clean sheet is coming on Tuesday night. I really do. He
I'll
goes
take
4
it.
at the back. We have a brilliant performance. We win 3-0 and a clean sheet, and our season starts Tuesday.
That'll do for me, mate. That'll do for me.
Exactly. Right, just before we go, just to let you know of a couple of shows that are coming up. Tomorrow night is the return of the Four Horsemen of the Toon, back with the boys again. Me, John, Barry, and Peter will be back. However, check out the channel in the top left-hand corner. It isn't on this channel. It is on World of Sport TV. So please go and subscribe to World of Sport TV on YouTube. That is where you'll find the Four Horsemen of the Toon. It's every 2 weeks. Like I say, the Rumour Mill will be on here 1 week, and then the Four Horsemen the week after. So it's every 2 weeks on Barry's channel, World of Sport TV. I will still be hosting it. It'll be the same format again. I know Barry's got some lovely, lovely things in store for John Sinclair. So we'll see what happens with that one. Wednesday night on this channel at 8:30 is the Fan Forum. So come on, plenty to talk about, obviously, because we'll have to talk about the Arsenal game and also the Norwich game from the night before, and the build-up, of course, to the Burnley game. What situation the club will be in by then, who knows by Wednesday night, because I think if we lose, it's going to be a very, very depressing Fan Forum. I know that much. And then on Thursday night at 8:30, me and Mr. Harrison will be back with the Newcastle United Burnley preview. Looking forward to that one, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Hopefully, go on.
I'm not there, of course. That's the trouble. I'm away this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah, but you'll be there for the preview.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't miss that.
So basically, join me and Dave again for the preview on Thursday night, where we'll be chatting about obviously the Norwich performance and if we can grab another 3 points going into that. So plenty to come on this channel in the next few days. Thank you to everybody that has super chatted tonight. Really, really thankful for that. Michael, thank you so much. Really looking forward to bumping into you again on Tuesday. We'll have a good crack. Yeah. And also thanks for all the comments, all the lovely comments in the chat tonight, apart from the odd few. But you know, you've basically said how you feel about those comments, which is exactly what it's for. So thank you very much for that. And I really appreciate everybody's support as usual. We will see you. Well, I'll see you tomorrow night on the Four Horsemen on World of Sport TV. You will see Mr. Harrison back on the Fan Forum on Tuesday and the preview show on Thursday night. Yeah. But enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, guys. Have a great week as well. I will be doing probably a recorded video as well for Eddie Howe's press conference, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, guys, how are the lads? 3 points this Tuesday, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Stay safe, everybody. Have fun.
Good night, guys.
Good night.